Salutations friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing Black Sheep from House of Matriarch. If you'd like to know what I think about this fragrance, then keep watching. So I'm going to be reviewing Black Sheep and I'm really excited. So for transparency purposes, this was not given to me to review. I actually received this in a swap. Somebody had a sample of it and it didn't quite work for them, and I had tried a sample of it and I really liked it, so I was more than excited to do a swap. So thank you so much, you know who you are. I love this scent. Kristin Michelle has always been kind of like a wordsmith with natural perfumery to me. If you are new to my channel, hi, my name's Kristin and I love House of Matriarch. I have more fragrances from House of Matriarch than any other house, and that's saying something. I love her artistry. I love what she does with natural perfumery, and I'm a huge fan. And I've spent probably thousands of dollars on her stuff. So yeah, I am a huge fan of her stuff. Now, what I love about Black Sheep specifically is, to me, this isn't just a fragrance, it's an experience. This fragrance really centers around the costus root. There you go. I probably said it the wrong way. It's a very expensive material. It's not used too often, and this fragrance really centers on that kind of musky, like aromatic, woody smell that is pretty much predominant, or pretty much what costus is known for. What I love about this scent, and I think it's really cool, is that Kristin actually made a tincture with humanely sourced black sheep wool from, I believe, a black sheep named Penelope. And I think that's really cool because I think that animalic kind of softness that it has really plays a beautiful part in this. There's also copal in here. You have clover, white pepper, barley. There's just a lot of different notes in here that creates a really unique experience that I think elevates that beautiful oil and plays a pretty, like, almost modern but still timeless tribute to a fragrance that has a tincture with sheared wool. And I'm not trying to downplay that or elevate it more than it should be, but I love when people take unique ideas in fragrance and bravely kind of create something and make it successful. So the first thing I'm going to say is this fragrance is not going to be for everybody, and I don't mean that in a way that's saying it's a bad fragrance. It is a very strong fragrance. It's very warm, it's a little bit resinous, it has a musky, animalic feel to it. If you've ever worked with wool, so my mom, she actually spins wool. She's got probably like a ton, like I mean a literal ton of wool at her house, like probably like close to like 1,000 pounds of wool. I would not be surprised. She has so much wool. I know what wool smells like. I am very aware of what wool smells like, which is what really draws me to this fragrance, because it very much anchors me to my mom and that artistic, unique side to her. And so that's one of the reasons why I love this scent and I was really interested in this scent, is because it does smell true to form like wool, but it's a comforting, warm, kind of almost spiritualistic smell. And if that's something that people don't want to smell like, because some people love the smell of wool, some people don't love the smell of wool, I can understand it being a little polarizing. But what I love is what Kristin did is choosing very specific notes to really kind of elevate that costus root and not shy away from its kind of musky, animalic, somewhat woody, aromatic nature. It's really celebrating this beautiful note, and white pepper I think is just fantastic because it gives it a little bit of spice, a little bit of pepperiness in there, which again doesn't ruin the other notes. It just kind of gives it a little bit of peppery, warm sharpness in the back. So if you've ever done cooking, and I always like to tell you guys, when I review fragrances, I went to culinary school. I kind of take a culinary vibe with things. And sometimes when I review fragrances, some of the words that I use sounds like I'm, you know, I went to culinary school but didn't graduate culinary school high. And what I love about this is, like, when you season things with salt and pepper, you're not making things salty and you're not making things peppery. What you're doing is those two seasonings help bring out flavors, help discover flavors, especially it helps with layering and seasoning flavors. You can add a pinch of salt to something, it won't taste salty, but the flavor will initially be elevated, or specific characteristics of certain ingredients will be more pronounced in the food. The same thing with pepper, it's a balance. And so the white pepper, and if you've ever tasted white pepper, it has a very specific flavor to it, different than other peppers. Every pepper, every peppercorn, every different thing, it does have a very unique characteristic. So a lot of chefs like to cook with white pepper because it's really easy to use, and it also, what I think is really unique, and I'm going to bring into this, it doesn't change the look of the food. Since it's white, if you add it to a clear soup, or if you add it to a bechamel, or if you add it to anything like that, it's not going to have those little brown or black flecks in it. It looks pretty pure, but you can taste it, and it works, and it does its job. And I think that's what the white pepper does in this fragrance. It's really elevating the costus root. It's really shining a light on this really interesting and unique idea of making a tincture out of fleece, out of wool. And it really is helping the other kind of spice notes play their part in elevating this really unique and beautiful experience. So I was really tickled when I saw the white pepper, and you can feel it on the skin. But like I said before, like the wool flavor, that animalic kind of musky note, it's not that it's a challenging scent. It's not that it's a bad scent. It's a lot of people are unfamiliar with how that smells, and they can be a little intimidated by it. But I don't think that intimidating fragrances lose any of their beauty or wearability. It's just some people prefer something different, and that's totally fine. So this is not a fragrance I would recommend purchasing blind. Unlike other fragrances from her house, like fragrances like Kazimi or fragrances like Coco Blanc, those are really, I would say, more of her crowd-pleasing scents, but still have an olfactive kind of avant-garde feel to them. They're very unique, but she does do a lot of very daring scents, and this is a very daring scent, specifically since it smells like wool to me. But it smells like a beautiful fragrance that's paying tribute to wool and to like the life outside of like animals. And I think that's really unique. I don't know if that's exactly what she was going for, but it's how I interpreted it, and it's why I really like it. Now, the other thing with this fragrance too is you really have to wear it on your skin. That's true with every scent, even really easy to wear scents like fragrances like, Light Blue from Dolce & Gabbana or Gucci Bamboo, or any really easy to wear crowd pleaser. You really have to smell it on your skin. But this scent specifically, because of the fleece and because of the costus root and because of these kind of cool but warm, very kind of soothing, like spice aromatics in the scent. Again, pepper, the cloves, the cistus, all that really beautiful stuff. There's also barley in here too. You really have to wear this on the skin. That is where this fragrance really just envelopes you and shines. And the nice thing about this fragrance is that it is very linear. So when you put it on your skin, what you smell is what you're gonna smell, but you really have to let it kind of commingle with your body chemistry for, I'd say, about 20 to 30 minutes when everything kind of marries together and blends together. And that's where it becomes warm, a little bit softer, and just really beautiful. It's a ridiculously unique experience just in general, and from House of Matriarch, which I'm just really excited for. I find it to be terribly successful in regards to how it smells, how brave it is for using things like black sheep fleece. I think that's really cool. And just generally overall, I think it smells really divine on the skin. It's definitely an olfactive experience. So it's definitely worth checking out. I love it. And also it's one of the fragrances from her line that has I think some of her fragrances, natural perfumery in general, sometimes they have a really good longevity, like crazy longevity. Some of them don't. It's just the nature of natural perfumery. And this is one of her fragrances that I think lasts on the skin a ridiculously long time. I'm talking like 10 hours I've had it on my skin. Now again, I've been kind of at home, in air conditioning, so obviously where you live in your environment and your skin and where you apply it and how you apply it varies, but I was really impressed by how long this lasted on the skin. It does kind of stick to you for a while until you have to shear it off. But also what I liked about it is how it performs in regards to projection. This is more of an intimate fragrance. So this is definitely something that's not very loud. And what I find with a lot of Kristi's fragrances is they're very personal experiences. And if you've ever talked with Kristi, or if you've ever kind of delved into her world and her artistry and almost her spirituality, she's very much, my cats are being fed. She's very much into like inner strength, inner beauty, and just kind of like finding who you are. And that's one of the things that's made her a very good friend of mine, is just she is such a pure soul. And what I've noticed, and I don't know if she would agree with this, is I feel like every single one of her creations that she makes for people's own personal journey. So each fragrance is designed to be a personal experience for each, for the person who's wearing it, and maybe some fragrances are meant to be really shared amongst communal people, like friends and family, who you would bring in close to you and talk to and commune with. And so none of her fragrances really have a beastly projection to them, but I don't think that's how she really designs her scents, whether she does it subconsciously or intentionally. Everything is about your own personal experience, your own personal journey, and she kind of translates that through olfactive art, and I think this is a beautiful interpretation. A fragrance like this tweaks some of the notes a little bit, and it could have pretty much close to the same smell and be crazy loud, but I think that would ruin the integrity of this experience. I think this experience is really about kind of grounding yourself and also celebrating this beautiful note in a really unique and special way. So overall, I think this is a terribly successful fragrance from House of Matriarch. I do love it. I am a huge fan of House of Matriarch, you guys know that. But what I like about this is the fact that I find it to be a very brave scent. And a lot of scents that could be described as very brave or very challenging aren't going to be for everybody, but in a lot of cases for people that do take risks with perfumery, that's the point. And that's what I love about this particular scent. It's unique. It's different, it's special, it's very masculine, but at the same time, it's very comfortably and very just womanly and feminine too. And that kind of like very bold, strong strength that this fragrance has. So wear it on the skin, try a sample of it first. But if you're looking for something unique and different and special to add to your collection, I think Black Sheep is most excellent, and I do love it. And again, remember guys, she was not sent this. This was a swap, but I had a sample of it first and I was absolutely in love with it. So that is my review of Black Sheep. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you guys have tried this fragrance, I'd love to know what you guys think, good or bad. I'd love to know what you guys think of fragrances like this. Have you read the notes? Are you really excited for it? What are your favorite fragrances from House of Matriarch? Let's just have a good old conversation in the comments section. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Bye.